Is Richie going to play tonight? That common refrain among radio talk show callers could have been the title of a top 10 tune during Richie Farmer's career at Kentucky. Richie talks about his first team meeting with Rick Pitino and the emotions of playing against Duke in his final game wearing the blue and white.
You know, no Legends tape about Kentucky basketball would be complete without the young man on my right, and that's Richie Farmer. And Richie, we appreciate you. You're coming in, and it's good to see you. You're looking well.
Well, I appreciate that. Appreciate it. I mean, it's a great honor just to be here and be part of this.
Well, it looks like you could go another 40. What do you think?
Well, I don't know about going 40, but I could get out there and still shoot the threes a little bit. That's kind of like something, you know, I told somebody one time, it's kind of like falling, you know, riding a bicycle. You fall off, you get back on, you ride, and you never forget how to shoot. Sometimes the legs won't do all that you got to do to get open to shoot. But
now, is your right arm longer than your left arm?
I don't know. I used to have to ice it down a little bit, but I think I pretty much got it up. You know,
I just have to ask that question.
Pretty much symmetrical.
Okay, good. I'm glad to hear that. Now, first of all, I got to congratulate you on being inducted into the Kentucky High School Athletic Hall of Fame. That's got to be quite a thrill.
Yeah,
what are you feeling?
Well, I really appreciate that. That's something that, you know, I guess every young kid that grows up in the state of Kentucky and plays high school basketball, I mean, that's something that a lot of them probably don't even dare dream. And to be honest with you, you know, I never thought about being inducted into the Kentucky High School Basketball Hall of Fame. So the really great part about it is the first year that I'm eligible for induction that I'm going in. So, you know, that says a whole lot, and I'm going in with, I know one of the other ones that's going in was a member of Rupp's Runs, that's Larry Conley.
Right.
And, of course, you know, he's been eligible a long time. So for me to go in the first year that I'm eligible for induction is really quite an honor.
Well, now, let me ask you a question. You played in 5 Sweet 16s.
Right.
I think you're the only player in Kentucky high school basketball history, at least on the boys' side, that we know of to do. Now, how did you do that? How did you slip in that extra?
Well, to be honest with you, I played a lot of basketball I started on my elementary school on the varsity. We call it the A team then when I was in 4th grade. And so I played, you know, through the 6th grade. And then once I made it to 7th grade, I was starting on the freshman and JV team in high school. So I was going to high school in the morning and practicing with the freshman team, and then going back and, you know, getting my work done at grade school. And I did hit the books pretty hard because, you know, I was fortunate enough to graduate valedictorian at my elementary school and then 6th in high school class. So, you know, books was important, but I played a whole lot of basketball, and then through 7th and 8th grade, you know, once I got to the 8th grade, I got to dress on the varsity, and of course Clay County most of the time won the state tournament, or won the 13th region, and got to go to the state tournament. So I was fortunate enough to play in a game where, you know, we had quite a lead on Owensboro, I think it was, that we were playing. So a lot of the scrubs, and I was one of the scrubs that year. You know, we got to get in, and I played 1 minute and 8 seconds, I think, and got to score 2 points. So,
how many shots did you take in 8 seconds?
One shot.
Oh, just one shot?
Yeah, I got one shot off and was lucky enough to make it. But, you know, that's something that if I live to be 1,000 years old, you know, that I'd never forget.
We're coming out of high school, did you want to go to UK? Were you one of those kids who dreamed about going to UK ever since you were old enough to put a ball through a hoop?
I think most definitely. I was one of those kids that grew up, you know, and I would be Kyle Macy or Rick Roby or Jack Gibbs.
Kyle Macy's going to feel real good.
Yeah, you know, somebody.
How old's Kyle? Kyle? He was you.
Yeah, some of those guys, you know, and I could just see, you know, shooting Kyle for 3 and all the game-winning baskets on the
So you played these mental games?
Yeah, and I used to just always, I mean, I used to sneak and listen to some of the games, you know, after Mom and Dad said it was time to go to bed. If the Cats were you know, playing on the radio, I would stay up and sneak and listen to Kay Wood call the game and all that kind of thing. So I grew up, you know, dreaming of playing there. And as a matter of fact, when I was in 1st grade, our teacher told us to write down on a sheet of paper what we wanted to be when we grew up. And, you know, a lot of people put that they wanted to be a doctor or a dentist or an astronaut. And I put down that I wanted to be a UK basketball player. So, you know, a lot of hard work and a lot of luck, I was able to accomplish that. And that's something that I definitely wanted to do.
Okay, now, you go from Eddie Sutton to Rick Pitino. Now, I want you to describe to the fans your first phone conversation. Yes, because Marta McMacken told us a little bit about it, but I want your side.
Yeah, Mr. Bill Catley tells this one quite often on me. But
what was your first phone conversation?
Yeah, it was a situation. I was back in Manchester, and of course, I've been off and on in Lexington now for 10 years, and you still can tell that I'm a country boy. And you can take the boy out of the country, but you can't take the country out of the boy. I still have the little slang. But Coach Pitino was in town, and you know, he'd gotten a job, and we had heard, and so he was trying to call all the players to kind of let us know exactly what he expected of us, and you know, what we needed to do as far as being in shape when we came in back to school. And so he called, and you know, the joke of Mr. Bill says, he says we talked for 30 minutes, and he said Coach came in and said that he understood about 2 minutes of it. And I looked back at Mr. Bill, and I told him, I said, did he understand 2 minutes? I said, because I only got about 30 seconds of what he said. So that was, there was kind of a big communication gap between us, but that's the story that Mr. Bill likes to tell. So it's kind of, you know, there's a lot of it true.
But, you know, you guys actually played on that. I remember one Midnight Madness. Didn't you guys have kind of almost like a lounge, Holiday Inn lounge act going?
Yeah, he was, you know, of course, very sharp with the media and people, and liked to play on that. And of course, he brought me in, you know, at that time, told me I needed to lose 20-25 pounds, and you know, and I got in the best shape that I'd ever been in. And I was lighter, as a matter of fact, the year that he came than I was when I went into high school as a freshman. I weighed 173 pounds, and I played that year at 168. So,
wow.
You know, I dropped down. I think that I was a little too light, but you know, for him it was perfect, and I gained a step, and I got a burr haircut, you know.
See, that helped your speed right there. Right?
So changed my aerodynamics a little bit, and kind of brought me out there during Midnight Madness and put his arm around me, you know, and said, don't he look good? You know, so the fans just kind of, you know, they played on that, and we had a little deal to where he had me shoot in 3-pointers against Billy Donovan. And he said, if you beat Billy the Kid, Rich, he said, right here in front of everybody, after I bragged on you, he said, we're going to take an hour off practice tomorrow.
Oh,
and I said, okay. And so he said, do you want to shoot first, or do you want him to? And I said, well, I'll go ahead and shoot first. And I made 5 of 6. We got 6 shots. I made 5 of 6. And so Billy the Kid missed the first shot, and then I think he made 2, and then he missed 1, so it was over. And I was like, all right, you know, hour off practice. And he said, okay, Rich, instead of 6 hours, it's only going to be 5 tomorrow. So we was like, you got us again. So, you know, yeah, he made a deal, but he still had us, you know. So
as the Celtics are going to find out.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure that they're going to find out it's going to be his way or the highway, so they might as well get their butt in shape and be ready to play.